What's up, cavemen? It's Mr. Mariano and Officer Gutierrez. The most important tool at school is not your Chromebook or phone, it's your brain. Protect it at all costs. 2 weeks ago, we did Chromebook wellness checks. Instead, we should probably do brain wellness checks. Questions would include, are you getting enough sleep, exercising, hanging out with friends, staying away from substances, eating healthy, moderating that phone and gaming use? Those devices can prevent us from doing the very things that lead to a healthy brain, like focusing, connecting in person, exercising, sleeping, and eating healthy. It's important to understand what's going on in your brain during your teenage years because you have some unique advantages and disadvantages as your brain develops. As a teenager, your brain's limbic system is at its peak. This is your brain's emotional center. It makes sense to develop this first so you can react quickly to your environment. This is why we freeze, fight, or flee in response to stressors. It's also why you cried for food as a baby or feel that breakup so strongly right now. Your brain's frontal cortex develops last. It won't fully develop until you're 25. That's your brain's regulatory center. It allows you to plan, set goals, delay gratification, and strategize. What does this mean for you right now? You have the capacity to feel emotions strongly and not a lot of tools to regulate those feelings. As a teen, your brain is wired to crave risk, escape, novel sensations, and peer acceptance. This helps you get out of your comfort zone, which has allowed you to learn new things at an amazing speed. Really useful. The downside is there isn't much there to pump the brakes when things get dangerous. With that in mind, we want to give a few reminders to help your frontal cortex out. These are things around school where we find ourselves saying, why didn't you think before you did that? Let's do that thinking right now.
I asked officers in our city if they had any advice for your age group to help you stay out of trouble. Here are a few helpful suggestions they have for you. Please don't ride your golf cart on city roads. Really, the only place you can legally drive a golf cart is on a golf course or private property. Golf carts can't even be driven on your neighborhood roads. Also, please start wearing a helmet while you're driving your motorcycle or your scooter. Until you're 21, it's actually the law that you have to wear a helmet. While we're on the topic of vehicle safety, please don't throw things out of your car at people or other cars. If your car is moving, the speed the object you're throwing is going to be a lot faster than if your car was stationary, which can result in significant damage and injury. It also makes people really upset to have a soda, water balloon, snowball, or something else thrown at them or their car. It can even become a dangerous situation for you if they confront you about it, or you might even get charges because of it.
Let's talk about vaping and back to your brain's limbic system or its emotional processing center. It runs on dopamine. That's our chemical reward. You know dopamine. Think back to your first kiss. Mine happened while toilet papering a house. Double dopamine hit. What about yours?
It was actually in the Fat Cats parking lot in Provo.
Wow, that's romantic. Teenagers' baseline levels of dopamine are pretty low and you are fairly sensitive to it, which is why you might think everything you used to like is now boring. This drives you to seek new experiences. Again, good for learning, but also dangerous. Using drugs or alcohol floods the brain with dopamine, raising levels so much that your brain will release far less of it to compensate. So during crashes from the drug, a person is actually more stressed, anxious, depressed, tired, and bored than when they started. Eventually, vaping or using drugs creates the very things you are trying to escape from. Soon, teens who use drugs while their brains are developing have rewired their brains so that the substance is required in order to feel normal. Not high, not buzzed, just normal. This addiction can permanently change parts of your brain that aren't fully constructed yet, affecting you for the rest of your life. We have vape sensors in the bathrooms. The school needs reasonable suspicion to search you. Those sensors or any strange behavior, like hiding out behind the baseball fields, gives us reasonable suspicion. Because we know that these substances are hard on your brain, we will search you, press charges if necessary, but also provide a course to help you overcome addiction. Please don't bring marijuana, nicotine, or any dangerous substance on campus. And for the sake of your brain, stay away from them altogether.
Part of your brain development is learning how to be part of a community. While online, you might stand out for extreme behavior or words. The reality is, in the real face-to-face world, you have more influence when you're kind to people and places around you. So please don't shoot your airsoft guns or Orbeez guns at unsuspecting people. Often these look like real firearms and can be perceived as a very real threat by citizens. It can become a very dangerous situation for you if people think you are shooting a real gun. Let's talk about TikTok trends for a minute. Before you decide to try the latest TikTok challenge, think really closely about what the outcome could be. If you decide to go try the locked or not challenge by checking random car doors to see if they're locked, think about how that could be perceived. Would someone driving by think you're breaking into cars and call the police? Probably. If a TikTok challenge could have legal consequences, please don't do it. It's not worth criminal charges for a few likes.
Next time you want to vandalize a bathroom or rip the soap dispenser off the wall, think about who will have to put the time and money into fixing this. Who might appreciate having soap to wash their hands? And do you have the time and money to face charges of vandalism and to repair the damage done?
Speaking of facing charges, please leave all weapons at home. This includes knives, ninja stars, really anything that could be considered a dangerous weapon cannot be at school, and you very well may have criminal charges if you bring them. It doesn't matter if it's a pocket knife or what type it is, leave it at home. Did you know that our city parks have a curfew? The parks in American Fork are actually closed from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. You, as juveniles, also have a curfew. This means there are certain times you aren't supposed to be out wandering the city unless it's a school, church, or work function, or you're with your parents. If you are 16 or 17, your curfew is 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. If you're under the age of 16, your curfew is 11 p.m. every night of the week. So this means that even if you are legally allowed to be out after 11 p.m. on a weekend, you still can't go to the city park to hang out.
We are happier people and more successful when we think and act like a community, when actions consider all of us and not just you. Learning that lesson will serve you the rest of your life. Cavemen, realize that this time of your life is so important for learning. Taking responsible risks is the best thing you can do to be ready to be an adult and navigate this world with confidence. Just recognize that you may need to put a little extra thinking into whether your choices are setting you up and those around you for success. Thanks for being an important part of our community, and we look forward to navigating this important time with you. Thanks for watching.